welcome back to another video, everybody, and thank you for joining us again. Thank you for watching the last video, and thank you for commenting on those that let us know how you guys liked it. Today, we're going to talk about one team and one team. Unfortunately, we have a couple of things to say about this team. I mean, it's not like we're fans of this team or anything, but it's just this team we need to discuss. And I think after today's game, we have some things to say. So we're gonna get into that real quick, and
Gonna be an emotional video.
yeah, we'll see how this goes down. Let's get into it.
Barca. No, just
Huh?
what? Anything.
Oh, nothing. He said, "For Barca, this is for Barca." Yeah,
Yes, yes,
that's how.
yes.
Okay. All right, start us off. What you think? What we're doing first here?
Um, well, I kind of just wanted to discuss like the lineup first. So
Okay.
for Bayern, did Neuer was injured, so they started with Ulrich. They did a 4-2-3-1, which is typical
Mhm.
lineup that Bayern uses and one that Mourinho was using back in the day with Madrid as well. They got right back, probably gonna pronounce some of these names wrong, honestly, but Masraoui, then
Uh,
Upamecano, and the lead as center backs with one and only Alfonso Davis as left back, CDMs, Goretzka and Kimmich, right wing Gnabry, Cam Musiala, left wing Mane, and then as striker, Choupo-Moting. But
mhm.
do you have the lineups with you in front of you by any chance?
I do. I have Barca's lineup here, and I
Yeah,
have
go ahead and give us Barca's.
Barcelona. Ter Stegen in goal, the usual. They have Bellerin at right back, not bad. Kunde at center back, cool. But Marcos Alonso at center back, questionable. We'll talk about that in a bit. Uh, Balde, the youngster, he's doing all right, so not too bad there. Left back. Kessie, De Jong, and Busquets, I like it. Um, we'll talk about Busquets later. Dembele, Pedri at left wing, and then obviously the only striker that can score on Barca's team is Lewandowski. So there's a lineup for Barcelona. So what do you think?
Well, you mentioned already some as questionable, so I want you to go first. You tell me like
Okay,
let's start with the defense. We already know
okay, let's
like
go start with defense.
who focus as Barca fans who focus more on Barca's side, but we already know
Yeah,
Ter Stegen unquestionable number one starter, to me one of the best goalies in the world.
obviously. Yeah.
But let's go by line. So let's go with
Okay,
defense.
so yes, Bellerin, I don't think it's a bad start. I think they bought him for a reason. They needed a good right back. He plays, outside back, so that's not bad. Also, Araujo is out,
Yeah.
so that's a big hit for Barca. But Marcos Alonso is not a center back. Yes, he's a defender, and yes, you would love for players to also be very flexible with how they play, but Marcos Alonso is not a center back. He is an outside back first, and I don't even know if a center back second because I don't think he would be as comfortable there in that position, even though he was probably working with what he had and probably didn't want to start Eric Garcia. I mean, he's been playing okay, but I guess Marcos Alonso was a choice. I just don't think he's a comfortable player when he plays center back because obviously he's been playing outside back the whole time. So I don't know. That's what I think about the defense.
You okay with the left back?
I think he was just going for speed
Okay.
mainly because he's a youngster, has a lot of speed, and you can see it in La Liga, which is not the same as playing in Champions League, but you can see it in La Liga and how he does create a lot of speed on the wing, but just it's the experience, it's a different thing once you're playing high level.
I do agree as well that he was going for speed. Um, I don't like Marcos Alonso as left center back either. I get it. You put him on the left side. He's a lefty. He's just a left back. But playing actual center back as compared to outside back is completely different, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, he had Piqué in the bench. I don't want to see Piqué play, so I'm cool with that. And then, but he had Eric Garcia on the bench, And I honestly, even though he has been inconsistent at times, I'd rather see Eric Garcia start in that role than
Hmm.
Marcos Alonso. Because obviously, Araujo would be ideal to start right there. But,
Yeah.
Barca has a lot of injuries, even with Christensen being out. Um, Balde, I'd rather have him over there instead of Jordi Alba. I know
Yeah.
Jordi Alba, you know, he was a starter for Barca for so many years, but it's time to kind of start getting that transition going because we've been needing a left back for years. Also, because even at times as Jordi Alba has gotten older, he's gotten very inconsistent.
Hmm.
I would disagree with you though. I personally don't like the fact that Bellerin started, and simply
Mm.
because even when like I would talk to Brian would be like, "Hey, what happened to Bellerin? Like, why hasn't he been playing at all, even in La Liga?" He has not played at all. Like he might have come in for a few minutes, like right after being signed, but
Yeah.
then to come in into like a game where you're playing a great team like Bayern in Champions League and you haven't been playing in domestic nor like abroad league, it's just to me like you're not really putting the best lineup out there. Because
Mm.
again, at that point, like for speed, I see why he put Bellerin. Because what were the other options? Sergio Roberto, if you just
Yeah.
end up
No
playing him
speed.
as right back. But also one thing he's done in the past that has seemed to work in some of the games, he could have put in Kunde as right back.
Mhm.
And if you really wanted to leave Marcos Alonso, leave him in, but put in with Eric Garcia. But then at that point, you also have three lefties in the defense, which I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah. I think you're right. But Roberto probably would have been a slower option. I don't even see him on the sub list, so no, I don't even know if they brought him up or maybe he's injured. But yeah, I think he has experience in big games because you've seen him play in Champions League before, and always, he knows how to play in big games. Maybe this game wasn't the most important for them and wanted to experiment. That's another way I can see it as well. Because obviously, I mean, I feel like Barca, they knew they're going to be out, and I think Inter had played that morning already, so they knew they were out. Even though that happens, though, I feel like you should still try to start your best, your best team. But again, it could have just been an opportunity for Xavi just to, try it out. Let's see what I can do with this game, since just try whatever you can.
Yeah. Let's go on and move into the midfield though.
Yeah.
So we have Busquets as CDM, and then you kind of have De Jong and Kessie as center mids.
Hmm.
Well, what did you think about that? I know you said
Okay.
you think to say about Busquets.
I said Busquets is questionable only because of his speed. I get it. We talked about it in the Madrid and Barcelona analysis. He is a big starter. He's a big name in Barca. Obviously, a club legend. But okay, he's a club legend. Right now, you need players that can play at the high performance. And I'm talking physicality as
I
well.
can step in the field right now and play better.
Okay, let's pause on that one. Let's put a
Yeah.
pin
Emotions later on. Emotions later on. My bad.
in. Busquets is not fast enough anymore. He never really was the player that you knew, like, oh, he's quick. He was just positional, like you would say. So I don't think Busquets is a big starter anymore. I think Kessie and De Jong, fine. I mean, they're younger, they have more pace, they're able to move around a lot in the mid and disrupt. I mean, but I'm looking at the subs. I don't know who he would have started. Gavi. I mean, again, that's another younger midfield. Maybe he could have started, Fati on the wing and then brought in Pedri. So I mean, that's kind of going into the forwards too. Like Pedri in the what is he trying to do? Like a Valverde type of thing where he comes back and like he saw Madrid just outplay them like that. I don't know, but Pedri in the wing, I don't know.
We can combine the two, yeah, honestly, because I think they're very related as Pedri normally
They
is in the
are, yeah.
midfield. I would have done that, what you said, take out Busquets, leave Kessie and De Jong with Pedri in the midfield,
Mm-hmm.
and then either left or right because he can supposedly play both sides, have Dembele
Yeah.
on one side, and if you bring in Ansu Fati, you leave Ansu on the left, leave Dembele on the right. But one that I haven't seen start in the last few games is Rafinha. So it's like, why did you pay so much money? Because he's a good player, and
Yep.
he has a good leg. He can pass and he can shoot and he can dribble. So if you have somebody like him and Dembele can play both sides, put Dembele on the left, Rafinha on the right, and with Lewandowski as striker. Because the first thing I thought when I saw Pedri as left wing, Xavi did what Guardiola did with Iniesta when he was Santos
Oh
moving
yeah.
left wing. And again, there's always these comparisons with Pedri as good as Iniesta, but just because he's good as him, he can also play as effective in a different position.
Yeah, it's just again that it could have been. That's the only thing I can think of right now is that he's experimenting with different spots and the players that he can play. That's the only thing I can think of, and because he's down men right now, like you said, the two center backs are out. Maybe Sergio Roberto's injured. I'm guessing he is injured because he's usually either on the sub list or he's either playing. So I don't know. Maybe it was just an experiment, but we'll get into how that played out, which is how the game went against Bayern in this. What is this? Their fifth game of group stage already? I think this was their fifth game, right? Because they have one more. So yeah, this is their fifth game already, and so far over 5 games of Champions League. We'll go into emotions later, but anyway, let's talk about this game here. What'd you see? What'd you notice?
Actual takeaways from the game.
Yeah, what are some takeaways?
Well, again, like with a lot of teams that Barca faces, they can't keep up with the opponent. Like speed kills them, and you have a lot of injuries. But you also have very slow players, and even in like Busquets, you don't have a prime Busquets that can be well positioned all the time and even slide tackle the same way that he used to. But Nabri ended up having 3 assists in the game. One of them, honestly, was a shot, but he still got the assist for it.
You got the.
But he played really well, and the first pass, like to the first goal.
Oh yes.
Woo, a dime.
Not only the pass, I mean, you could tell, like you said, how speed kills. You saw Mane are behind Bellerin. I know Bellerin's fast. And he still just zoomed past him. I think it was just the way he positioned his body and kind of got in right behind him. It just threw him off because he was never able to recover in front of Mane. And he just got the better of him. And that ball was it was perfect. I mean, where else did you want that ball? It was just driven low, right to where Mane was heading and finished the goal perfectly. So.
I know it's easier to criticize also once you see the result of a game after the game and you see how the players did. But even then, like Bellerin, with the speed that he has, Mane easily just beat him from behind, outran him. The second goal that happened was Bellerin keeping the player on sides also. Instead of stepping and being in line with Kunde, he was stepping more behind, leaving the player on side. So it's like, I felt like when I was watching Bellerin play, he was, how would I phrase it? He had slow reactions. He didn't have that tempo of the game. He didn't have rhythm. And again, I can't blame him for not having rhythm when he hasn't been playing.
Yeah. I don't know. It didn't look the best in the back line. I think I did notice too a lot of the plays, because they were beating so easily, I don't think they ever adjusted to bring back the back line. They were playing kind of like high pressure, and you notice how far up the field the defensive line was. So anytime like a ball would come through, obviously the speed with Gnabry on one side and then you got Mane on the other. Even, by the way, the youngster Musiala that they have, he's really quick as well, and then that one created a lot of problems too because it's creating like a disruption because he moves so quick up and down the field. He's got a lot of energy right now, so they're all 3 of them are playing in the attack, and Barca's just trying to keep up. So
and that was without the boy Sane, who was
exactly, and Sane would have added even more speed. So
yeah, he would have destroyed everyone again.
That's a whole different level. So they got a good team. Bayern has a very, very strong team, and again, like we mentioned in the past video, Barca just, like you said, they can't keep up with the teams that have more speed and they're just at a peak performance. And everyone is just so in sync in these big teams right now. And Barca just doesn't look that way, or didn't look that way anyway for this game. So,
and I think part of it also with that lineup that they had in that way was a bit more defensive because you do have a midfield playing left wing, and depending on the like custom tactics and the role assignments that Xavi gave, he could have been dropping more and make it look like a 4-4-2 with just
Mm-hmm.
Dembele and Lewandowski on top. But even if you require Dembele to drop a lot, it's more for a 4-5-1, which
Mm-hmm.
again you scored 0 goals. So yeah, I mean, Lewandowski, he didn't have as many chances as he had in the first time they played Bayern, or as
Yeah,
clear
yeah, he
chances.
did it.
But again, it's just I felt like there was a lack of creativity this time too.
Mm-hmm. I mean, a lot of different faces in different spots. I mean, they had so many changes in how they usually start. I would have also liked to see, and you mentioned it, I think, Kunde on the right back is plays really well. And I know it's probably not possible now because of the injuries, but man, I remember watching him play right back. He plays very well. Now that's a player that is very flexible with where he can play. That's someone you can play center back and right back because
I
you've
think he
seen it
can
happen.
also play CDM too.
I've never seen that, but I would love to see that too. Maybe he plays better than Busquets. Who knows? Obviously, the injuries, like we said, it's
But
just a
see,
big.
out here with the creativity already. Imagine Kunde as CDM with like De Jong and Pedri. I would like to see it at least try it out.
And
If you're
then
out here
Kunde can
experimenting,
even play. Yeah, he could play that deeper CDM. He doesn't have to attack so much. Just be there to hold the mid. And I don't know. That's just being creative. I feel like we're playing FIFA now. Trying new things and everything. But I know, right? But on to the next thing. What do we got next?
I want your emotions, dude. Like, tell me, how do you really feel? Tell me
Can't
what you
really
feel.
say that.
What
Okay.
you really feel.
I think I just felt more like disappointed. Like, yes, Bayern is a great team, and like, yeah, they're pretty stacked. I'm not gonna lie, they have great players. They're playing well together, but Barcelona should have been able to do more. That's how I felt. They should have been able to at least attack more, or at least, give a little more effort, and they just didn't look like that. They looked, I don't even know if lazy, like flat. Like, how when you taste soda and there's just no fizz to it? Like this soda right here.
This one's fire.
Imagine this soda had no fizz to it. It just wouldn't be right, But that's how it felt to me, that it just felt like they just didn't have a pop in their player, and they just felt flat. And I don't know, maybe it's the different players playing in different positions, but
I'm disappointed that you felt disappointed because I felt anger. Because, like, here's the thing, like, so Barca fan, like Madrid fans may be like, oh, he's gonna be biased, he's gonna defend Barca. Like, no, I'm gonna go at them because they're Barca. There's gotta be high expectations. We need you to play the best. And I get it, by the time you were already facing Bayern, you were already eliminated because Inter won. So
yeah.
There was really nothing you were playing for. How about play for pride? How about play for honor? How about play for the badge and the jersey and the club more than a club, right? And I just felt like what you were saying, they were flat, very passive. One of the things that annoys me so much about like Barca's playing style, and we saw it a lot towards the end of Guardiola's era too, just passing the ball back and laterally instead of pushing forward. And it's one of the things that frustrates me the most. You see a striker or a wing make the perfect run, and you see it, and you're about to give the pass, but instead you choose to go to the side, or you choose to go back. What are we doing? Like, are we not trying to score?
Yeah.
Like, even like with any sport, I get defense is very important, but in basketball, the priority is score the basket. In soccer, is score a goal. Like, you need to attack if you want to win games.
So that's how you feel.
Yes, and that's me keeping it classy, me keeping it cool, coping.
All right. Yeah, I think we can agree on that. There's just so much more that you expect from them. knowing it's Barcelona, just knowing their history for the last 10, 15 years, you want to keep seeing them play at a high
I don't
level.
blame the fans for leaving at halftime. You see, like some of the fans were leaving at halftime. Yeah.
I mean, they probably found out a little later that Inter was already, gonna go in. So they were probably like, "Oh wait, why are we here?" Either way, it was not.
But
It
see,
was
that's
not
the
the
crazy
best
thing.
play.
At the beginning of the season, once you got all those offensive players, it's like, oh my God, what a juggernaut. Who are you going to start? You got so much talent up ahead with Depay, Ferran Torres, Ansu Fati, Dembele, Rafinha, Lewandowski, and whoever else I'm forgetting to say. But
Yep.
0 goals in this game. Also, let's not forget that they did not score a goal.
And it wasn't even they didn't score. It wasn't even like they made a threat to Bayern. I feel like even if they tried to attack, Bayern was very in sync. And they have Delight, who they picked up from Juve, Upamecano, who's been at Bayern now, and I think he came from Leipzig or something. I forgot where he played before. Huh?
A la Madrid, bro. A la Madrid. All the way. I've been a Madrid fan since day one. Benzema, the goal. Hey, don't clip this. Don't clip this.
Anyway, so yeah, their defense was solid, and they were able to hold them back. Not that Barca, made any threat to Bayern's defense, but either way,
It's an easy game for Bayern.
yeah, this was just let's close out the group stage because they're gonna go 6-0. Who do they play next? Don't they play
Victoria?
Victoria.
Yeah.
Yeah, the team that's in last place that hasn't won a single game. And they're probably going to start every youngster they have from the academy and just close out the group stage 6-0. So that's pretty much it. I don't know what else to say about this game.
Well, I mean, let's move a little forward then. Now that Barca is ass and it's eliminated,
Pretty much.
What's next? Well, where do you see? Obviously, they're going to Europa League now. How do you see them in the Europa League moving forward?
So, I mean, they're still doing okay in La Liga. So they should focus on, try to stay up top. Hopefully they get that rematch against Real Madrid and actually, close it out at the end. But that's going to be hard to do when you're getting all these injuries. And now, this loss, and you're not going to make it into the next round of the Champions League because you're going to the Europa League. Why not try and win the Europa League? I know last year they played it as well, but they couldn't win it. Even though it's just the Europa League, you should still try to win that. I mean, show up to try to win that trophy. I know you want the Champions League, but okay, we're out of there. That should be behind you now. Let's start moving forward and start thinking about the Europa League. And I think that's what they should do. I think they should focus on winning that.
Before I give my thought on that, it's one thing that has been on my mind that I want to say also. Barca, Xavi, I hope you're watching this. Let's stop complaining about the refs. Even with the Inter game, it's a penalty. Let's stop looking for bailouts. If you play well, if you do what you're supposed to do, and you're as big of a club as you say you are and you think you are, win the game. I've always disliked that part of teams obviously we played soccer, we've been in teams, we've been through high school, club, and even in college in the mirrors and all that stuff. We know how annoying it can be when having a ref that doesn't make the right calls. But you're a professional. You gotta live with it and just be better. Don't try to be looking for the bailout. But that's part of the emotion stuff too. But
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Europa League, it's almost like Barca is the past Arsenal, and Arsenal is the past Barca. Because we switch. Arsenal's out here killing it. Barca's out here just killing our hopes and dreams of the fans. So I'm expecting them to at least make it to the final of the Europa League. Honestly, ideally they should win it. With the type of players they have, they have enough time to get together. There'll be a break with World Cup coming up, so there's still time. But one of the expectation I would have on them is, well, you better win La Liga. You better at least win that because Madrid out here is still gonna be playing Champions League. And let's
Yep.
not forget, of all the Spanish teams, Madrid is the only one of those teams that made
Oh,
it to
yep.
the round of the Champions League. So no excuses. No excuses.
Yeah, they have a good shot right now. They're still in a good place. I believe they're still in second place, right? So they just beat Atletico Bilbao. That was great, but it's Bilbao. I mean, you want to beat big teams like Bayern, which didn't happen. So, I mean, just keep it up wherever you can. If they're winning games in La Liga, keep winning those games. If they're going to be in Europa League, win the games in Europa League. Just do your best to win the games that you can, even though Champions League is your goal. Let's win the Europa League. Hopefully, they can at least do that.
Oh my God, keep watching the games? Yes, I'll keep watching the games. I'm gonna continue to criticize them as I would with any other team. Yes, I'm that fat person on the couch with chips looking at the game as if I were better than them. But that's cool. That's why it's fun being a fan and you're not the one dealing with the stress of being. So, you know, it happens. But yeah, I have a lot of expectations for them still. Obviously, like they can win Champions League or even make it far no more. But I'm still gonna watch the games, hope that they get better, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll hope for that. And on that note, thank you for joining us again. And thank you for hearing our rants and our emotions about, Barcelona. Again, let's hope to see them improve a little bit and just keep their heads up for the next, the remainder of the season. Thank you guys for being here and joining us in this little podcast / analysis style video we made today. And hopefully you see us on the next video. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And we will see you on the next one. Have a good one, everybody. See
Time to check my soda. Peace out.
ya.